Good morning, everybody. And I don't know what's happening where you live, but the temperature is tumbling here. It's going to be a cold one. Perfect time to catch up on that book reading that you need to do. So, we are going to be delving into a subject today, which I thought, how am I going to do a whole session on that? But actually, there's a lot of material. We're going to be talking about discouragement, the first stumbling block to peace. But before we get into that subject, I'm going to pass you over to Mary Pierre for some admin updates.
Yes. So first thing, we're gonna make sure that we go and we share the podcast this morning. So we want to click on the arrow and click it to share on every social media platform. And you will have in the comment the text that you can copy paste so people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. And of course, after that, when you share, you will see that you can share by messenger or text message. So when you have someone in mind that really needs to hear that, is the best way to make sure that they will listen to the podcast this morning. So make sure that you go and you share directly by messenger or text message. And then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So first, when you go on our Facebook group, Les Millionnaires des Diamants Inspirational Group, when you post, when you put a reaction, a comment, you gain point during the month to be in the top 10 contributor of the group. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And we have this morning the winner, the official top 10 for the month of November. So congratulations to our top 10. Number 10, we have Monique Stratton. Number 9, we have Nathalie Brochu. Number 8, we have Desimage Demo. Number 7, Sherry Novak. Number 6, Mélanie Cocolas. Number 5, Rachel Dugas. Number 4, Lise Boucher. Number 3, Kendra Sitting-Gassel. Number 2, Louise Gauthier. And number 1, Martin Noël. So congratulations to our official top 10 for the month of November. So congratulations, and that means that we are starting new. So every time that you post, every time that you put a reaction, a comment, you will gain point to make sure that you are in the top 10 for the month of December. Then we have a draw for everyone that when you post and you tag Maria Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw. So for when you go on the boutique and you place your order, you take your picture and you go post and you tag Maria Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants. You receive your order, same thing. You take your picture with your order and then you post and you tag Maria Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And same thing with the books, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So you receive one of the books, you take your picture. You're reading one of the book, you take your picture. You're doing one of the quiz book. Again, you can take your picture. Every time you're using your agenda, you take a picture. A workbook, you take a picture. Every time, take a picture and make sure that you go and post and tag Maria Moreno and Les Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw. And the winner for the month of November is Rachel Dugas. So congratulations, Rachel, you are the winner for the month of November. So again, congratulations. And if you haven't get your ticket yet for the conference on January 24th, it's time to do it now. So you will have the link in a few seconds in the comment. So you can just click on it and register to be with us for the January 24th. So it's going to be a virtual conference. So anywhere you are in the world, you can connect and be with us for the conference. And if you are close to the studio where we're going to be in Anjou, so if you want to come and be in the same room with us, you can come and we'll take some picture all together. It's going to be fun. So if you want to be with us at the studio, send me a message and then I will add you to this special group of people that will be at the studio with us on January 24th. But first thing, you need to have your ticket, then to write to me to be with us at the studio. So make sure click on the link and be with us for the conference on January 24th.
Yes, so lots happening and lots of ways that you can help with your own personal self development. So, as I said this morning, we're talking about discouragement, the first stumbling block to peace. So, today we're going to be talking about something very powerful. The two stumbling blocks that destroy peace are discouragement and pride. And today we're going to talk about discouragement, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about pride. So, why? Because discouragement is quiet, it sneaks in. It erodes peace long before we realize what's happening. And Covey describes it perfectly. Discouragement is what makes people abandon the climb even when the summit is possible. You know those people that give up before they've actually really given it a go. So, today we're going to talk about why discouragement happens, how it shows up in ordinary life, how illusions, expectations, and quadrant one living can destroy our peace. Real life stories from everyday people to celebrity examples. And finally, how discouragement blocks us from experience the peace that comes from the results. And later on, Marie Pierre is actually going to talk about the antidote, courage. What happens to us when we're discouraged? So, when we're discouraged, our energy collapses, we feel stuck, we doubt ourselves, we compare ourselves, we replay failures, we start predicting negative outcomes, we stop taking action, we stop believing peace is possible. Discouragement is not just an emotion, it's a state of paralysis. And Covey says it is one of the biggest barriers to peace because peace demands movement, clarity, progress, and purpose. Discouragement steals all of those. And why do we become discouraged? Well, we become discouraged if, for example, we're living in quadrant one with a constant urgency. If you live in quadrant one, constant emergencies, constant rushing, it is almost impossible not to become discouraged. Quadrant one feels like running fast but going nowhere, solving the same problems every week, never catching up, never feeling the control, and feeling like life is happening to you and not by you. People in quadrant one often say, "Why should I even try? It never changes." Discouragement is inevitable when your day always outruns your dreams. Another part of discouragement is complacency, the illusion of peace. People often think comfort equals peace, but comfort can actually be drifting. Not unhappy, but not moving, not miserable, but not alive, and failing, but not growing. And deep down, the soul knows it. Complacency produces a slow burning discouragement, a sense that life is passing by, that nothing meaningful is happening. Before I joined Tupperware, this was me. Busy, but without purpose. Functional, but not fulfilled. Complacent, but not peaceful. Many people feel discouraged because their dreams look too far away. Covey says, peace is the fruit of aligned effort. Discouragement is the fruit of misaligned illusions. When your dreams are based on unrealistic timelines, unclear effort, magical thinking, or comparing yourself to others, you will always feel like you're failing because you're measuring against a fantasy and not a principle. This is where discouragement becomes dangerous. Some people live with illusions. I'm better than I am. I don't need to practice. Success will come quickly. Everyone will recognize my talent. And when reality hits, the discouragement is devastating. Classic examples. What about all those people that go on America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent auditions? People walk in absolutely believing they're amazing. And then the judges look at them like, where is the talent? The audience cringes. They are rejected publicly. They're humiliated. Their dream is shattered. This is discouragement in its most brutal form, the collapse of an illusion. What about people who depend heavily on reassurance, on approval, on praise, on validation, tell me I'm doing well. And when they don't get it, they spiral into discouragement. They start imagining things that aren't true. They don't like me. I must not be good enough. I'm invisible. Discouragement fills in the silence with negativity. What about discouragement on a grand scale? And now I want to give you some examples of a, a type of person that can go from great to not great very fast. What about athletes whose career ends overnight due to injury? Their entire identity was built around their sport. Their self worth depended on performance. Their happiness rested on the goal. When the injury happens, discouragement turns into depression, addiction, loss of purpose, despair. There are countless examples: footballers, hockey players, Olympic athletes, and I'm going to add to that pop stars, musical failures, um, who never recovered emotionally. Discouragement swallowed them up because they had no identity beyond the dream. But there are also beautiful stories. One of my favorites is Colonel Sanders of KFC. He had dozens of failures, job losses, rejected business ideas, bankruptcy, discouragement after discouragement. And yet, at 65 years old, he created Kentucky Fried Chicken, a global empire born from someone who should have given up 100 times. That is the difference between somebody who lets the discouragement crush them and someone who uses discouragement to redirect them. Peace comes from clarity, purpose, aligned effort, quadrant 2 habits, small wins, progress, and growth. Discouragement destroys all that. Where quadrant 2 creates confidence, discouragement creates self doubt. Where quadrant 2 makes you proactive, discouragement makes you passive. Where quadrant 2 creates focus, discouragement creates confusion. Covey says discouragement is one of the most dangerous inner enemies because it convinces you to stop trying just before the results are about to come. And as we wrap up this session, I'm thinking, Mary Pierre, you and I might feel a bit discouraged this morning because we know that Maria's not here today, and it's just Mary Pierre and me, and everybody else who usually listens to the podcast is not here either because Maria's not here. Well, that's what you could say in your head. But what you have to say when you see, I mean, looking at the people who come, thank you to the people who are here: Louise, Lise, Martin. We really appreciate Olga. I see you this morning. And so when I see that there are people who support you, what you have to say to yourself is not to be discouraged by the fact that Monique's not here, that James is not here, that Sherry's not here this morning, and say to yourself, they must have something else going on in their lives this morning. It's not because it's only Mary Pierre and me. So discouragement can destroy you with silent voices. Jacqueline Stockley's not here this morning. But what you have to do is you have to say, you have to not let that little voice go inside your head. So as we wrap up this session on discouragement, ask yourself, where am I discouraged because of illusions? Where am I living in quadrant 1 instead of quadrant 2? Where am I waiting for reassurance instead of validating myself? Where am I drifting instead of directing? And where am I giving up too early? And I say that with a big emphasis on all the people out there who are working on an MLM. The biggest mistake that you can make is when you give up too early. Discouragement is real, but it does not need to define you. So now let's see what Marie Pierre has to say about courage. And I know she has a quiz too.
Thank you, Annie. Yes, of course. Always a quiz. So we understand that, like Melanie said, the discouragement is the sign that we have lost the connection with our internal compass, our power to choose. And then you have the courage, that is the voice that will pull you forward. So it says, try again. One step it is enough. And you can learn this. You've overcome before, so you'll overcome again. But sometimes we see courage as something that is going to be really loud and will drive you, but it's something that is not that loud. So it's a quiet decision to keep moving even when you're feeling that your feeling don't agree. It's the moment that you choose faith instead of fear. It's the moment that you remember who you are. So the discouragement shrink your world, but courage will expand it. So it's really not something that you will see as something big. So you have to remember it's not something that will appear in front of you really big, but it's all there every day in the small decision that you do to say no to fear, to say I will do it no matter what, and say I can do that one more step. So the quiz this morning will help you see if there's some moment that discouragement take the lead in your life, and some moment that the courage rise in your life, and is to see which one is guiding your daily behavior. So the goal of the quiz is always awareness. It's always moment to realize what is the what is your behavior in a normal day. It's not to have the perfect answer, but it's there to be to realize where you are right now, so you can take the next step to develop maybe more courage, or to realize, oh, I'm not that far away from where I want to be, and it's okay. And maybe you'll see, oh my, I need to take that one step, and it's okay. So the quiz is there to help you realize where you are right now, so you can take that next step. So let's start. So every question this morning, you can answer A, B, or C. So let's start with question number 1. So when you make a mistake, what is your first thought? A, of course, I always mess up. B, okay, it's not great, but I can fix this. Or C, what can I learn and adjust for next time? Question number 2. When you see someone succeed before you, what do you usually do? A, feel smaller or discouraged. B, feel mixed, happy for them, but discouraged for myself. C, feel inspired and curious about what they did. Question number 3. When someone criticizes you, what do you tend to do? A, shut down. B, need time to process. Or C, look for the constructive part. Question number 4. When result takes longer than expected, what do you do? A, lose motivation. B, slow down but keep going. Or C, stay consistent with patience. Question number 5. When you are tired or overwhelmed, what do you do? A, withdraw or avoid tasks. B, do the essential. C, choose one small courageous action. Question number 6. When someone doubts you, what do you do? A, believe them. B, feel affected but fight back internally. Or C, use it as a fuel to rise. Question number 7. When you need help, what do you do? A, stay silent. B, consider asking. Or C, ask without shame. Question number 8. When something doesn't go as expected, what do you do? A, you feel like giving up. B, you regroup. Or C, you try a new strategy. Number 9. When someone gives you feedback, how do you take it? A, you take it personally. B, you feel sensitive but open. Or C, you welcome it. And last question. When people around you are negative, what do? A, you absorb their energy. B, you feel affected but try to resist. Or C, you protect your mindset. So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, or mostly C's? So if you have mostly A, so discouragement is running the show. So you tend to shrink when life stretches you. So discouragement arrives quickly and loudly in your mind. So it convinces you to protect comfort instead of possibility. So this doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're human. But this pattern, if it left unchecked, it will limit your growth, your leadership, and your peace. So the next step will be to choose one courageous act this week. One moment where you refuse the pattern of discouragement. So courage will grow through repetition, not perfection. So choose one act this week, in the entire week. Just one thing that you refuse to get into the discouragement pattern. If you have mostly B, now you are in the transition. So you experience both discouragement and courage. So you want to rise, but doubt still pulls at you. So this middle space is powerful because it means that you are becoming. So you are learning to catch discouragement before it takes over. So you don't give up easily, even when you feel like it. So the next step will be to strengthen your courage with structure. So your environment, your routine, your circle will matter to make sure that you have that structure and build conditions where courage will win more often. And if you have mostly C, now you have your courage is your natural mode. So you rise, you act, you push through. So courage is not the absence of fear, but it's the decision to move anyway. So this will describe you. So you pursue growth, you take responsibility, you choose perspective. So the next step will be to become the person who help others rise. So your courage will, when you share it with other people, will become leadership. So 5 points to build the courage and reduce discouragement. Number 1, do one small thing immediately when you feel discouraged. Send a message, clean a space, make one call. Tiny action to break that emotional paralysis. Number 2, replace the I can't with one question. What's the next small step? So this shifts your brain from fear to problem solving. So instead of just being in the fear to say, I can do that, you're now in the problem solving of what is the next step to do that. Number 3, ask for help once this week, even in a small task. So courage grows when you stop carrying everything alone. So ask for help once this week. Number 4, when you feel discouraged, talk to someone who lifts you. So never fight discouragement in isolation. Connection will reset your mindset. So make sure that you have the right people around you that will lift you up and not something that will say, oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right. So find the right people around you that will lift you up. And number 5, when discouragement speak, say one empowering sentence aloud. So example, I can do hard thing. I've overcome before. I courage and not fear leads my life. So speaking out loud interrupts the discouragement pattern instantly. So it's not a revolution, it's an evolution. So it's something that every day you can take the decision, okay, I will make sure that it's courage that lead my life and not discouragement. But it's something that every day we work on that. And it's something that when you stop working on it, discouragement will come back. It's the natural mode of the human. So it's something that we need to work on every day, no matter at what stage we are right now. So with small action that we can remember to do is going to make a big difference. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day. And we will see you tomorrow morning. And again, if you don't already have your ticket for January 24th, make sure that you click on the link and to join us for the virtual conference, or you can come at the studio if you want to be with us at the studio for the conference. Bye, everyone.
Bye.